This is This Week in Vegas,
the Ninth Island Connection podcast, our 5th podcast. So thank you for tuning in. High five.
That's
We
right,
made it to
baby.
5.
That's
Woo!
right. We did it.
All right. And if you have never tuned into our podcast, This Week in Vegas, that's what it is about. It's what's happening this week in Vegas: news, weather, events, activities, announcements, jackpots, all of the things that are going on here on the Ninth Island. So let's get to it, starting with our news.
And it seems like this week has been like flooded with concert announcements. There's so much going on. And we've talked about this before, how, we would come across people that say, oh, I don't go to Vegas because I don't gamble. There's so much more than gambling. And it seems like there are more events than ever.
You almost sound surprised, but we are the entertainment capital of the world, right? So of course, all of the talent comes to Vegas because all of the people want to go to Vegas and watch these concerts.
Yep.
So some of the concerts that are coming this year in 2025, tickets are on sale. So they're not happening like this weekend, but these are just a heads up. They're coming here to Vegas. So get your tickets. If you're interested, book those flights, book your hotels, because those fill up fast and the tickets sell out quickly. I'm excited about this first one. The Backstreet Boys, love the Backstreet Boys. They're going to be at the Sphere, and that is going to be July 11th through 27th, various dates sprinkled in there. I have not yet seen a concert at the Sphere, but this might be one that would make me want to go there. I know you're not going to be my date, but maybe my sister will be my date for that one.
Well, the Sphere was made for concerts.
Yes.
That's what it was built for. And it's truly an immersive. I mean, there are a lot of immersive experiences in Vegas. This is truly immersive, where it's 360 in there.
Yeah. So this might be my first concert there. We'll see. We'll see what those tickets look like. All right. Next up on the announcements.
Oh, we've got Garth Brooks doing his thing at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. He's been there for a minute.
Over a year, I think.
I joke about this because a lot of artists come to town and they have their residency, and then they have their encore announcements, and then they have the final shows announcements, and then they have the final after the encore. I feel like if you're killing it in Vegas, just stay. There are people like Barry Manilow, been here forever, killing it. Wayne Newton, never leaving. Just stay. Garth Brooks +1, going to be at Caesars, added February 21st through March 9th.
Next up, Boys to Men, bringing me back to high school. I used to have a Boys to Men poster in my room. They're going to be at the Cosmopolitan in August. I think they were here last summer as well.
They come they come a few times throughout the year, it seems.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, they come to town. In the
summer.
Have a little
residency happening.
Yeah, they come throughout
Mirage,
the year.
I think they had a
Mirage,
residency.
they were there for a minute.
Yeah.
So if you don't get to see them in August, if you're coming later in the year, they might be back if that's something you want to put on your list. Chicago is going to be over at the Venetian the 28th through March 15th. So that's a couple weeks that you have to see them.
Yeah, and Chicago actually comes to Vegas a lot. They kind of have, I guess you'd call it a residency at the Venetian.
Yeah, they come throughout the year quite a bit. Let's see, we've got
Lenny Kravitz over at Dolby Live in the Park MGM. That's going to be August 1st through 9th. Not all of those days, but dates sprinkled in there. So that's going to be a really cool show. I would like to catch Lenny at some point.
And if you guys watch us every week, you would have heard us say this many times. Park MGM, the Dolby Live Theater, is an amazing venue for music. So don't get stuck on ticket prices. Buy the cheap seats. You'll be just fine in the Dolby Live Theater. There's really not a bad seat in the house. If you need to be front row, that's your thing, that's your budget, absolutely. What I'm saying is, don't let those high ticket prices steer you away from catching a show at that theater, because there's not a bad seat in the house.
No, you feel the music wherever you're sitting.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's like you're watching it, but you're feeling like the bass through your body. It's a pretty cool venue.
Yeah.
One of my favorites for sure. All right, next up we have Josh Groban at Caesars. He's going to be there May 9th through the 17th. I don't know, Josh Groban, that's a completely different, I feel like that's one thing about Vegas is they're so diverse with the music that comes here. There's a bit of everything.
And I don't know what you guys think about when you hear Josh Groban, but my mind automatically goes to Christmas music. for some reason. I think Christmas with Josh Groban.
Okay. Yeah. I think the Jimmy Kimmel skit from a long time ago with Matt Damon. Yeah. I think about him being a part of that. But that more like,
Okay.
Yeah, that's what comes to my mind. If you know, you know. If not, that just sounded weird. So.
What do you guys think of? Comment below. We've got Rod Stewart at the Caesars Coliseum. That's going to be a couple dates. He's coming in March, so the 12th through the 22nd, and then coming back in May 29th through June 8th. So a couple of opportunities.
And that's a perfect example of the final wait, I'm back, because Rod Stewart had like years of a residency at Caesars Coliseum, and he had his final shows, the final dates,
the encores of the finals.
And then he took a little bit of time off, and now he's back. So, maybe we'll go through that whole thing again with him of, you know, as long as people are coming to see him, he's going to stay here.
Yep.
Maybe he'll do like Barry Manilow and have an indefinite just
residency. Show up whenever you'd like.
Yeah, could happen.
Let's see. We've got Maroon 5, this is an awesome show. That's going to be at Dolby on March 7th through the 22nd. So that's another. Maroon 5 is always here throughout the year.
Yeah, they're out for years. They always have been here, and we saw them once at Mandalay Bay.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and that was great. And I saw them with my sister at Dolby Live in Park MGM, and it was a completely different concert than that. And I love that it was just more intimate, because Mandalay Bay is a little bit larger theater.
It's a big theater, yeah.
And Dolby's a little more intimate. And it really worked with the show that they have, because they tell a lot of stories of them growing up together. And if you're even slightly a Maroon 5 fan, definitely check them out. It's an amazing show.
Yep. Then we've got Sammy Hagar, who I think lives in Vegas, because he's got he
spends a lot of time here because he's got connections with Cabo Wabo
at Palms.
And then at Palms he has
the whole pool thing is his thing, right?
I don't know if the whole pool, but I think he's.
It's like
something happens with
his
him
experience or something there where he's got branded part of the pool over there. So he's going to be at Park MGM. Park MGM is killing it with concerts. They've got a lot going on right now. He's going to be there April 30th through May 17th. So you have a couple weeks to catch him there.
Yep. And then you have Smokey Robinson.
On the opposite end. So Sammy Hagar's here, and we've got Smokey over here.
Yeah. And Smokey Robinson.
And Josh Groban's in the middle.
Yeah. And Smokey Robinson is kind of here from time to time. He pops in and performs. He's going to be over at Venetian. That's going to be the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th of April. And he's celebrating the 50th anniversary of A Quiet Storm, which must be one of his albums.
Late night, Sunday night, Between the Sheets.
I'm old, but I'm not like Smokey Robinson old. So I don't know, but I do like some songs of Smokey Robinson's, but that wasn't my music coming up.
Didn't we see him sitting in the audience at the Australian Bee Gees?
No, it was Human Nature.
Human Nature.
Back in years ago when Human Nature was at the Venetian.
We looked over and Smokey Robinson was a couple rows back and to our right, just hanging out in the audience. Yeah. I think he had some kind of production connection to Human Nature.
I think so.
Or they were doing some of his songs. He was involved somehow, but it was never announced that he was going to be there. And that's one of the things about Vegas. You never know who you're going to see, who's going to pop up. He just happened to be sitting in the audience to our right.
Yeah. Next up, we have the B-52s. They're back again at Venetian as well. That's going to be April 11th through 19th. And the B-52s have been around for a long time as well.
And they come here quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my high school days. They were on MTV.
Yeah.
So we're talking early 90s?
Decades and decades and decades and decades and decades.
It was a black and white television, and we had 2 channels. No, the B-52s aren't that old. And we saw them perform on a variety show on television.
Oh, yeah, just the other night.
And
they still do a good job. They're
sound the same. They're super spunky.
Yeah, they sound the same.
Yeah.
Just don't look at the same like all of us as we age.
They look the same, but older.
Yeah.
But they were killing it. Obviously, they still have an audience coming to see them if they're coming to Vegas, which is the entertainment capital of the world. And there's so much competition for entertainment in Vegas. And they come back time and time again. So they've got a strong following for a reason.
Which, it's interesting. The Venetian kind of has that older rock genre that they have for their entertainers.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
Yeah. But they've got their niche.
Yeah.
Niche. You guys let us know. Which is it?
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
Moving on. That is it for the concert announcements. I mean, that was a lot. Half of our news, actually most of our news here in Vegas has been about who's coming to perform this summer because, you know, that's what we care about, I guess.
And we have to stress that's as of today.
Yeah.
While you're watching this right now, that's what has been announced. But by the time we produce this and you're watching it, there more than likely would have been more announcements. And this is in addition to everyone that's already here throughout the year. All of the DJ, the pool parties, your weekly entertainers like Purple Rain over at the V Theater in Planet Hollywood. Those guys are always there. This is just the bigger announcements that come through town. Everybody else is still here. So put a show on your list, plug it into your Vegas experience. You will not be disappointed.
And speaking of Purple Rain, that's an awesome show. If you're a Prince fan, that's a great show. Obviously, Purple Rain, it's a Prince tribute show. And it was at Tropicana prior to this.
Oh, he's been in town for a while.
Like, I want to say
over 20 years.
Yeah.
He doesn't look it. It's the same guy.
Yeah.
He's been performing in Vegas for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And he looks great and puts on an amazing show.
Yeah. We interviewed him during season 5 of our TV show, and just a really cool guy. And we checked out the show, and it's very similar to Purple Rain, the movie. But there are some tweaks, different songs that weren't in the movie and stuff. But just so much fun. I love Prince. I grew up in Minnesota, so I've been a Prince fan since I was a little kid. So it was really awesome. But that's a show. It's very affordable. It's right there in the V Theater, across from Blondie's, and the Showgirl bar with that giant showgirl.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, you can't miss her. She like literally is jumps out at you. But I would highly recommend that show if you're looking for, you know, something that's more affordable, and just if you love music, great music. They do some Morris Day and the Time too, so that was
because that was part
fun.
of the movie and part of his story.
Yeah. So it's a great show, and I think that they often have like deals on Groupon for like reduced price tickets. So, and I always say that ways to save money in Vegas is check out Groupon, because a lot of the Vegas shows, especially those regular shows, have deals on Groupon. Yep. So, is your tip for today.
Let's see, what else do we have going on? Let's get into a couple of jackpots. There haven't been a lot of announcements, and if you watched our last podcast, the Strip pretty much killed it in 2024. Yeah. Record numbers, and we talked about how in the month of December of 2024, we didn't hear a lot about big jackpots.
That's because it was their record-setting month.
They set a record year profits and the second largest December ever for revenue. That means house winnings. So there hasn't been a lot out there. If you guys have heard about something, or if you won big while you were in Vegas, let us know in the comments. We've got 2 that we're going to share with you. The first one is over at the Bellagio. Somebody won $1.25 million on a $5 bet of Wheel of Fortune Gold Spin Triple Deluxe Stars. I wanted to get that all out because there were so many Wheel of Fortunes.
Oh, yeah.
There's like Wheel of Fortune, Sebastian and Kristine, Ninth Island Connection Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
There's
not.
Not yet.
There's not. Don't go.
But if you're interested for some branding, call us, reach out to us.
But there's like the Vanna White, like the 3D one.
There's so many. The Plaza downtown, they have an entire Wheel of Fortune section. It's nuts. So I wanted to make sure that it's specific. It was the Fortune Gold Spin Fortune Gold Spin Double Triple Stars. That was a machine at Bellagio, right? That's a test for you guys. On a $5 bet.
Can you imagine winning $1 million?
Yes.
You can?
I can. 100% I can. I'm just waiting until it happens.
That would, I don't know. I would cry. I think I would cry, or I'd be in shock, fall off my chair. I don't know. Scream.
While she's doing all that, I'd be sitting in the chair going, cocktail? I'll have a cocktail, please.
Well, you do that if you win a $5 jackpot. So
that's fair. Yeah. That is true. Yes.
All right. You said
celebrate
2 jackpots.
the small wins. Celebrate the small wins. The second one, and I had to call this one because this is my favorite table game to play. This is Pai Gow. I love it because it's slower pace. You don't lose a lot.
You don't win a lot usually.
You don't usually win a lot,
Yeah.
which is why when somebody wins big, I love to talk about it, because you can sit at the table for a couple hours and leave even, minus your tip money, because it's more of a drinking social game. You're going to get to know the people at the table. That's why I like Pai Gow.
When you say you want to talk about it because you really like this game, I think you want to bring up this jackpot to prove that people actually can win. Because
Yes.
I do get on them a
People do
lot. I'm
that.
like, why don't you play Pai Gow? You always lose when you play Pai Gow. Go play craps. You at least win when you play craps.
Well, somebody got 5 aces. And Pai Gow, it's not like poker. You don't like, oh, give me 2 or take a hit like you do in blackjack. You play the hand that you're dealt. So when you have a winning hand or a really good hand, it's pure luck. It is pure luck. It's just what you dealt. That's what you play. And I think that's why I like it so much, because I'm not into these card games like poker where you kind of have to think about what the other person may have because you're trying to win everything. Everybody is just playing against the dealer. So you can help each other. Hey, what do you have there? Oh, that's a great hand.
And
I think I win too. The dealer knows that they can't influence. Nothing can be done after the cards are dealt. So they'll even help you. You show them your cards and they'll say, oh, that's a good hand. The house would play it like this. Put these 2 on top, these on the bottom. You should win. So somebody was over at Palace Station. Now you have the strip right here. And then you have the highway system, 215, or it's just 15 at that point.
Yeah, at that point.
And then on this side of the road, you've got Palace Station, which is a Stations Casinos property. And is very popular, the Oyster Bar especially. People love it over there. So somebody was over there. They remained anonymous.
Understandably.
And they won. They got dealt 5 aces and won the progressive jackpot of $14,500, $14,500.
So they were playing the bonus.
They were playing the progressive bonus.
Okay.
So you're only going to get that if you play the bonus. I think if you get dealt the hand, it's like $5,000. Without the bonus.
Yeah, because we did see that guy at the Flamingo, and he was dealt 5 aces, and he did not play the bonus.
No.
And he got 5,000, which cool, 5,000. I'll take it all day
long.
But he could
have
have won like 20 something.
He could have won 25.
Yeah.
And we were playing bonus, so we got envy. So I got $250. Everybody at the table got $250 off of his win. And he sat there, he was sitting next to the progressive sign because they have it there to tell you what it is. And he just kind of looked up and you could hear his heart break a little bit because he looked. And everybody at the table, except for him, was playing the progressive bonus. So he's the only one that didn't get the progressive bonus. But again, $5,000 on a $25 bet, not a bad day at the tables if you ask me.
For sure. All right. Well, if you live in Arizona, and specifically Tucson, Arizona, you'll be happy to know, if you're a Vegas traveler, that Frontier has added flights that are going to start in, I think, May.
May of this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's going to be to and from Vegas, from Tucson to Vegas and back. And it's going to be like $19.
One way, starting at like $19.
But you know what? Frontier always has those cheap flights. They just never work for us. And we always travel with Carlos, and we can't fly Frontier anymore. But
well, and we live in Vegas, so we're not going to be coming to Vegas.
Well, I would maybe fly to Tucson.
We've never been to Tucson, so maybe we'll check it out. $19. And as of right now, they announced that they're going to have at least 3 flights per week. So limited, which makes sense because the fare is going to be super limited. So I'm sure the window is going to be their off-peak times and days to try to generate more revenue with those routes. So $19? Shoot, I'd be on a plane to Vegas for $19.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to Vegas. Wait, I'm already here.
Stupid. Moving along, and we're going to talk about pools. So
pool season.
Yeah, pool season typically for the seasonal pools begins in March, but some properties do have them open all year long or open early. Like, of course, Circa Stadium Swim is open year round. And the tank down at the Golden Nugget opened in February, beginning of February, which, I mean, our weather, the beginning half of February is not weather I would have been sitting at a pool, but we'll get to weather and talk about that in a minute, but maybe it's a good thing that they're open up if the heat wave keeps coming. Well,
the pool is heated though.
Yeah.
At that time. But for me, it's getting out of the water back to my hotel room.
Yeah.
That's the situation there. And you know what, to be honest, I could wait. I can wait. I'm in no rush. But they're open and there's people in there. There is a reason why they open the pool early, and that's because there's demand. They're not going to open early and be paying lifeguards and servers to just be sitting around if nobody's going there. They open early because people are there. If you want to check out the pool.
And the tank is an award-winning pool.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. If you've never seen it before, it's at the Golden Nugget. It has a huge aquarium with like sharks in it and other fish, and there's a water slide, and you can slide through the water slide. It's glass, so it feels like you're like going through the aquarium with all the sharks. It's pretty crazy. And then there's windows against the pool where you can actually see the sharks while you're in the pool. It's a really nice pool. Probably, I think it's my favorite downtown. Probably
Absolutely.
one of the best in Vegas.
Absolutely.
Just because that's such a uniquely Vegas thing. And I think it's really cool that they actually have a team there taking care of all the fish and sharks that are in the aquarium there, as well as the ones in Chart House too. So very cool. And last but not least, we're excited about this one, also pool related.
Oh, the Flamingo, our favorite property, got a makeover. Now the Flamingo,
not the property, the pool.
No, the Flamingo is our favorite property.
Yeah.
And of all the times that we stay on the Strip, year over year, which we say a lot.
Yes.
Well, she would say a lot. I say an appropriate amount of time.
71 nights in 2024. I think that's kind of a
good.
lot.
We set a benchmark. Now we want to try to beat that in 2025, right? That's the goal, right?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
You want to at least meet or exceed your goals on an annual basis, right?
It depends if you're setting that as a goal. Some of us are not.
That's a goal.
We'll see.
So we love it for so many reasons. And if you guys, there are people that love it and those that are just like, it's not for me, which is fine. If it's not for you, the one thing about Vegas, it's variety.
Go Pool at Flamingo was always there 21 and over. That's where they had like the live music, like you said. And it was more of a younger crowd, their adult crowd, of course. And so now they've taken that into, they have 5 different pools. Each will have like their own, they say, distinct experience. I'm not sure what that means, but
well, it's 1.5 acres of pool property,
yeah.
So they've got space.
Yeah, they do
down there.
Yeah, and they're putting in a pool bar with a 30-seat pool bar.
30 seats.
So it's a swim-up pool bar. So
you're not going to catch me there because
yeah.
it is Vegas.
Well, I kind of feel people will want to give up their seat and
yes.
might not be, you're sitting there drinking and you might not want to give up your seat at the bar.
Yep.
I know I'm getting gross, but
yep.
I'm a little bit of a germaphobe.
Use your imagination,
yeah.
folks.
Yeah. So it's going to, I think it's going to be really nice though. The pool itself prior to the remodel was
I
nice.
felt like it was fine.
Yeah.
And they put $20 million just into the Go Pool complex. The family pool is the same. All they did was work on the Go Pool, that party pool experience.
That's where they make their money, though. That's where the Flamingo pool brings in the money, because all of the alcohol that's being sold, the day beds, and they upgraded the cabanas.
Day beds. 30 cabanas, VIP cabanas got full makeover, new furniture, new cabanas.
It probably was in need of it, though. I haven't had a cabana at Flamingo, but I've seen the day beds.
We had the day bed before with friends, and it was fine. You get dedicated bottle service. A spot to chill.
But I wouldn't call them luxurious. I would call them what you would expect at Flamingo.
Well, they were not.
Yeah.
I would not say they were. It's not open yet, so we don't know what it's going to look like. But I feel like $20 million at a pool would go a long way, no?
Well, and then they did the surfacing, the cool
surface.
Yeah.
So you're not burning your feet in and out of the water.
Yeah, but you still want to put your flip-flops or slippers on before you go to the bathroom.
Yes.
That's a PSA right
That's
there.
just PSA. That's just a tip.
But it's going to be awesome. It's going to open this spring 2025. They haven't set a specific date yet, but they are taking reservations. Yep. So if you're interested in being one of the first people at the Go Pool to check it out, then definitely call them, go on their website, make those reservations. All right, well, that is it for all the news happening this week in Vegas. We actually recently stayed 3 nights at Harrah's, which was awesome. We had a great time. We always have fun at Harrah's. It's a great location. And we stayed there partially because there was a rewards credit multiplier happening, and also because we were doing a little bit of filming. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about the rewards credit multiplier, what that means.
Sure. So reward credits you earn at the same rate as tier credits. The differences are reward credits translate into dollars that you can use either for dining at the Shopette, You can convert the reward credits to slot play for gambling. Tier credits, that just accrues and does not go down. That's where you're trying to reach your status.
Yeah.
So whether it's platinum, diamond, diamond plus, diamond elite, 7 stars, which is invitation only. But so that's the tier credit aspect. Reward credits, you can spend those credits, but you earn them at the same rate throughout the year unless there's a multiplier. So they do have tier credit multiplier events where you could earn 7, 8, 10 times tier credits. It doesn't affect your reward credits though. So whatever you earn for your tier credits will be multiplied during that event. Your reward credit stays the same, although you still earn them at the same rate, which is $5 coin in equals 1. $5 coin in for tier equals 1. So when they have the multipliers for tier credits, those are going to be multiplied by whatever that number is. This is going to stay the same. So they do have reward credit multiplier events that do not affect tier credits. So we went down for a reward credit multiplier because, like Kristine said, you can spend those, and we do spend them for dining.
A lot. We like to save them up.
We like to save them up and see how much we can get. And the most we got, we were like over $280 something at the end of last year. And we just went off and just went on an eating spree in Vegas.
It's kind of a fun way to try like different restaurants with Caesars that we wouldn't normally go to because they're kind of like expensive and
or just some that we just never tried before.
And we wouldn't go to them. So we're like, well, we try it. It's kind of free. So yeah, it's very cool. But then we were filming there too. We filmed over, and we never even knew this place existed up until recently. They opened last July. Electric Playhouse. It's in the Caesars Forum shops. It's this, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a big kid's dream. I know it's family friendly in the daytime and then more adult friendly in the evenings. But it's large scale video games that you play with your body. So like think like the old school Wii, like the Nintendo Wii, you'd have the controllers.
It's like you're living inside, like Tron. You're in the game. Your body, like Wii, if you were playing the paddle, your body is the paddle. So as the objects are moving or the ball is moving like this, you're moving your entire body, sliding it back and forth to block the ball and break the bricks or whatever.
Yeah, it was just so cool. I mean, it'd be such a fun thing. Like it'd be a fun date thing. It'd be a fun group thing. And then they have immersive dining, which I think that would be a real cool thing to try. I know.
And they're all themed, and they have like top chefs that are in there curating these experiences. And there's different themes throughout the year. They have like an Alice in Wonderland.
I think the current one is Alice in Wonderland,
and it's called Tea Time. So there's different courses throughout. It's like a 4 or 5 course meal, and it changes throughout the year. So it's a really cool space.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back there. It was cool. I was like, never knew this was here. Awesome. And then we also had to film over at Dreambox 360. This is in the Link Promenade, right next to -5 Ice Bar. It's actually the same owner who owns -5, all that -5 Ice Bars, and Dreambox. But it's a completely different concept. It's a more intimate, immersive experience that just kind of, it's like, just they have different themes, like
but you
that
feel
are
like
more
there's
kid
like
friendly, and then they have ones that are more like a rave, and just it's really cool.
Yeah, there's like they do something at Christmas, so there's really something for everyone. And I love that it changes throughout the year because if you've done one, you can say, let's go try the rave this time. And I really think it depends on the mood that you're in, because some people come to Vegas, believe it or not, you can have a chill Vegas experience. And then some people come to Vegas and they just want to party 24/7.
And they have both of those options.
And they have both of those options. You can be like on a countryside with like ships in a harbor and birds flying, seagulls flying around, and you hear them. And there's mist that rolls in. And you can just kind of take a chill break, right? Enjoy your cocktail, sit for a minute. And then there's the rave experience.
Yeah. Ooh, and the weirdest thing I think of all of it, now I shouldn't say weird, just the most unique thing, and of course it's Vegas, is, you know, if you've been to the Link Promenade, it's outdoors, there's bars and restaurants, you're just kind of walking through the retail, just, you know, looking at the high roller, you know, looking at the line at In and Out, the fountains and everything, and all of a sudden there you can step into this immersive experience, and it's like, wait, I'm still in the Link Promenade. It's just, it's really cool. I would recommend it. It was a lot of fun. We also went to the ice bar at the Venetian. That was our first time ever going to that one. That one was really cool. Literally, it was really cool. We did an interview there with Mark, which was really cool because we interviewed Mark back in season 1 of Ninth Island Connection. Before we were even on the air. We were building all these episodes before we even debuted our TV show in Hawaii.
We interviewed him in December of 2019.
I think it was January 2020 before.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was right around, because we saw Maroon 5 for New Year's that time.
Because we were living in the Flamingo before.
That's
we
right.
were moving back to Hawaii.
Before moving back to Hawaii.
Yeah. But so it was cool to reconnect with him. And we actually did the interview in the ice bar, which, Sebastian's the host of our TV show and I am behind the camera. And it's really hard to operate cameras when you can't feel your fingers. So
touch screens do not work.
Yeah, it was a fun interview. It was fun. It was fun. So that'll be coming out on our TV show soon.
Yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yep. And then we also got to do an interview with John, who is the magician in Ledger Domain, which is a magic comedy show that's in its close-up magic. Yeah, it's a very intimate, like 30-seat venue.
Maximum.
It's in 1923 Live, which is, you're familiar with 1923 Prohibition at Mandalay Bay. This is the sister bar, 1923 Live, and they call it 1923 Live because it is a speakeasy, but they're known for all their live entertainment. The Prohibition bar does also have live entertainment, but
it's more low-key, like piano bar style.
Yeah, like they have Nola Nights and I think Ghost Stories there, but they have this magic show there, and we got to check out, I don't know, like we're new to Yacht Rock, but
if you guys have been watching over the past few weeks, we've been talking about Yacht Rock.
And the Docksiders, we kept saying the Docksiders are here. So we finally got to check out the Docksiders. We
got to experience Yacht Rock.
Yes.
And it is so much fun.
It is. It was so much fun. There were people there in like the little captain's hats.
Who were in the hats.
And it was just, everyone was so into it. I mean, there's obviously a huge Yacht Rock following that we've missed out on for years, but we have joined the bandwagon. We love it. That was so much fun. So if you're in Vegas and the Docksiders are here, definitely go check them out at 1923 Live. That was so much fun. And then after, they actually had this Nola Nights, which they had this really talented guy who played guitar and piano and sang. And it was that was a lot of fun. More crowd interaction.
Well, because he's asking, he's like, hey, what do you guys want to hear? Just shout it out and he'll play it.
Yeah.
He was really cool.
Yeah, so talented. And then combined in that, they have burlesque because, it's Vegas.
Well, of course, it's Vegas, right?
Yeah, so it was just so much fun. And it was cool because we typically aren't there on a Friday night. And we typically don't go do a lot of like nightlife things because we old.
Well, because there's so much.
Yeah.
And we're those guys that are out there during the day walking around. We're heading over to the conservatory. We're watching the Bellagio fountains. We're sitting outside at the park area between Park MGM and New York. So we're out all day long.
We get a lot of steps in.
Yes. So those like 2 a.m. party nights, that hasn't been us for a minute.
Yeah. But this actually started earlier, so that's why we could go to it. But so much fun. Definitely check that out if you're into Yacht Rock, if you're into just live music in general. So much fun. Right there in the Grand Canal Shops. I think it's right by where the -5 bar is, right by the gondolas.
It's close to the entry off of Las Vegas Boulevard. When you walk into the Grand Canal and you go around like those escalators and you go back towards the gondolas, it's going to be right there on the right, just before you get to the food court area.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the weather and what the weather is going to be like this week in Vegas. We're actually
warming up.
It's so nice. Yeah. And you know what it is? You guys are welcome. This is because we said in our last podcast how in February it can get in the 70s, but it's very rare. It hardly ever happens. And Mother Nature was like, watch me.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. So you're welcome. It's like beautiful weather. It'll cool back down. It's February.
Yeah. So for right now, at least, and it is February, like Kristine said, it's a toss-up, right? It could be 55 one day, 75 the next day. And right now, we're in that closer to mid-70s range right now, but it changes with the wind. As soon as that wind changes off of the West Coast, Southern California, or even Northern California, and if it dips down from Northern California coming into Vegas, it's going to pull that cold air in with it. If it stays steady like it is now, just kind of like a straight west to east or south to north coming in, we're going to maintain these warm winds or this warm weather here, and it's going to be mid-70s. But it does cool down in the evenings. I would recommend as you get closer to coming in, check the 10-day forecast because it might change completely from what I'm saying right now.
Check it like
a 3-day forecast.
Yeah, definitely. It changes a lot. And I never knew you were a meteorologist.
You like that?
Yeah.
All my years of just watching weather. The clouds up here, and it's going to be cold in the Middle East.
Oh, dear Lord. Anyway, let's move on into those events happening this week in Vegas. Starting off, we've got Mary J. Blige. She's going to be at T-Mobile Arena on February 28th. I bet that is going to be amazing.
Oh, Mary.
Yeah.
I've been listening to her since high school.
Yep.
Love it. What's the 411?
Yeah, that's going to be,
you know.
I'm sure that's going to be a packed arena
for
sure.
Then we've got Zhao Shen. That's going to be over at Dolby Live on the 28th.
And then we're bringing it back to the 80s. We got Lita Ford. She's going to be at the Golden Nugget in their showroom. That's going to be on the 28th.
Heart over at Fontainebleau the 28th and on the 1st. So 28 days in February. So Friday and Saturday, the 28th of February, the 1st of March.
No leap year this year.
Yep.
And then Chicago will be at the Venetian the 28th and the 1st.
We've got Josh Johnson over at the Venetian again on the 28th.
And he's a comedian, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then speaking of comedians, we got Kevin Hart at Resorts World Las Vegas. He's going to be there on the 28th and the 1st. And then you've got the Knights at T-Mobile. They're going to be there versus the Blackhawks on the 27th.
And then we've got the 2025 Las Vegas College Baseball Classic happening at the Las Vegas Ballpark. That's going to be on the 28th. And what I love about that event and that area is that you've got the Las Vegas Ballpark, which is an amazing stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium.
It's a really great ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got downtown Summerlin right here. This is all walkable, right? With dining, retail. You've got a Trader Joe's over there.
The Red Rock
Casino right
and
there.
That's such a nice casino. Yeah.
With more dining options there and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really cool little area, even if you're not going to the baseball game. But if you are going to the baseball game, go early and spend the day in downtown Summerlin. Check it out. Or stay after the game and check out the casino. There's live music in some of the restaurants down there. There's just a lot in that little area there.
There is. We actually used to live over there many, many years ago and just really had a great time. We'd always jump in a Lyft or Uber and head into Red Rock and downtown Summerlin and just like make a night of it. It was a lot of fun. And now it's too far away for us to go there.
It's too far. I've gone too far.
That's how it is in Vegas. Anything over 10 miles from your house, people don't want to go to it.
It's like when you think you could walk to the Strat from Mandalay Bay, and you're like, it's right there. Let's walk. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably only a half an hour, but half an hour in Vegas traffic. I mean, we said in our podcast last week how we're number 8 worst city to drive in. Yeah. So that's, nobody wants to drive long distances here if they don't have to, for sure. But anyway, guys, that is it for our podcast this week in Vegas, the
Number
Ninth
5
Island Connection podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and for supporting our channel and our television show.
And if you're looking for even more Vegas, stay right here on Hey Vegas. There's a fresh episode of Ninth Island Connection coming up right after this podcast.